Good afternoon po. Good afternoon everyone. Welcome po sa Preventive Conference. Today is March 16, 2026. Scheduled for today's Preventive Conference is for the contract 26 FL002. Ensure safe and reliable national road system, asset preservation, preventive maintenance, secondary roads, Gate-Bulan Airport Road, Bulan, Sorsogon. 25 FL0126, construction of school building, Buhang National High School, Municipality of Bulusan, Province of Sorsogon, Barangay San Vicente, Buhang, Bulusan, Sorsogon. And 25 FL0133, construction of multipurpose building, Sorsogon State University-Bulan Campus, Bulan, Sorsogon. Present here today for today's previous conference are the following: Livestream Jr., Bank Chairman.
Present.
David Villalmila, Bank Vice Chairman. Present po. Erwin S. Encenares, Bank Member.
Present.
Joanna C. Calalos, Bank Member.
Present.
Chloe F. Baleros, Bank Member.
Present.
Jessalo R. Alvilla, TWG Head.
Present.
Glenn L. Inicio, Bank Secretariat. Grace E. Perez, Planning Representative. Christian Ray Mangayab, Construction Section.
Present.
Mr. Chair, for today's previous conference, meron na po tayong quorum and wala pong present na contractors sa today.
Since we have a quorum, this previous conference is now called to order. The agenda for this previous meeting are as follows: basic contract data, requirements of bidding documents, eligibility criteria, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals, criteria and procedures for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, summary proceedings including bid rulings, remittal to be issued, questions, comments from the bidders and replies of the BAC and other representatives of the procuring entity, and other matters. To discuss the basic contract data is Engineer Grace Perez.
For basic contract data, with contract ID 26FL002, with contract name 001 Ensure Safe and Reliable National Road System Asset Preservation Program, Preventive Maintenance, Secondary Roads, Gate-Bulan Airport Road, kilometer 630-525 to kilometer 63100, kilometer 643-772 to kilometer 644-194, with contract location at Bulan, Sorsogon. Approved budget for the contract is 15,258,820 pesos. Source of funds is GA FY 2026. With contract duration, 87 calendar days. Predetermined and workable number of days is 23 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 25,000 pesos. Submission of bids scheduled on March 31, 2026 until 10 a.m. Opening of bids shall proceed immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work is RRA. The scope of works: this project covers preventive maintenance work such as application of top coat, laying, spreading, and compaction of hot mix asphalt overlay, 50 mm thickness in one segment, and repainting of pavement markings. It also includes installation of street lights in specified road segment. Objective is to improve road quality and extend lifespan of national roads. Here's the project's geotag photos conducted before the implementation. Environmental clearance. Next is the detailed engineering design plan for the project. The project's location map and vicinity maps. The project's straight line diagram, the typical road sections, and the details for street lights. The project's cross sections. Requirements of bidding documents, instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, bid data sheet, specifications, DPWH Blue Book, drawings, bill of quantities, and other forms. Here's the project sample of bid data sheet. Next is the special conditions of the contract. Next is the project's bill of quantities. These are all downloadable at the DPWH website and the PhilJobs website. Minimum manpower requirement for project manager: the general experience must have handled infrastructure projects. Project engineer must be DPWH accredited project engineer. Materials engineer must be DPWH accredited materials engineer. For general construction foreman must have handled similar projects. Safety health officer must have undergone 40 hours basic construction safety and health training. For minimum equipment requirement: asphalt distributor 1 unit, power broom tool type 1 unit, asphalt paver 1 unit, pneumatic tire roller 1 unit, tandem steel roller 1 unit, water truck or pump 1 unit, cargo service truck 1 unit, applicator machine 1 unit, kneading machine 1 unit, truck mounted crane 1 unit, straight broom lift 1 unit, dump truck 2 units, backhoe 1 unit, low bed trailer truck 1 unit. Next, for basic contract data 25FL0133 with contract name, construction of multipurpose building, Sorsogon State University, Bulan Campus, Bulan, Sorsogon. Contract location is at Bulan, Sorsogon. Approved budget for the contract is 99 million pesos. Source of fund is GA FY 2025. Contract duration is 238 calendar days with predetermined and workable number of days of 72 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 50,000 pesos. Submission of bids scheduled on March 31, 2026. Opening of bids shall proceed immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work is BICWPLCDP. Scope of works. The scope of work for this project includes the construction of the SSU gymnasium. This covers earthworks such as clearing and grubbing, removal of existing structures and obstructions, embankment works adjacent to the existing building, and gravel fill, as well as structural works, plumbing rough-ins, roofing installation, and painting limited to structural steel. The contract also includes concrete piling for the foundation and electrical conduit rough-ins. Finishing works and other civil works are not included in this contract. Objective: to provide a safe, accessible, and versatile facility that supports physical fitness, sports training, health and wellness, extracurricular sports competitions, and cultural and community events, contributing to the holistic development of students, discipline, sportsmanship, and enabling a vibrant campus life. Here's the geotag photos, the environmental clearance, as well as the proof of ownership. Next is the geotechnical investigation. And next is the project's detailed engineering design plan, project's vicinity map, the project's floor plan, and the project's elevation plans, and other details. Here's the project's perspective. Next is the project's bid data sheet. Shown to us here is the special conditions of the contract. Next is the project's bill of quantities. All of these are downloadable at the DPWH website or the PhilJobs website. Minimum manpower requirement for project manager must have handled infrastructure projects. Project engineer, DPWH accredited project engineer. Materials engineer, DPWH accredited materials engineer. General construction foreman must have handled similar projects. For safety and health officer, must have undergone 40 hours basic construction safety and health training. For minimum equipment requirement: dump truck 2 units, payloader 1 unit, backhoe 1 unit, plate compactor 1 unit, concrete pump diesel driven 1 unit, low bed trailer truck 1 unit, truck mounted crane 1 unit, diesel hammer 1 unit, drop hammer 1 unit, air compressor 1 unit.
For the basic contract data, contract ID 25FL0126, contract name, construction of school building, Buhang National High School, Municipality of Bulusan, Province of Sorsogon. Contract location, Barangay San Vicente, Buhang, Bulusan, Sorsogon. Approved budget for the contract, 19,900,000. Brief description, construction of 9.5 by 23 meters, 2-story, 4 classroom school building. Contract duration, 174 calendar days. Next is the predetermined unworkable days, 47 calendar days, wherein 21 calendar days are rainy days. Source of fund, FY 2025 General Appropriations Act under DepEd Basic Education Facilities Fund or BEFF. Major category of work, BICWPLCDP or buildings, construction with files, low-rise, concrete frame driven files, 1 to 5 stories. Cost of bidding documents, 25,000. Date of receipt of bids, March 27, 2026 until 10 a.m. Date of opening of bids, March 27, 2026, and will proceed immediately after closing receipts of bids. The scope of work, construction of 9.5 meters by 23 meters, a 2-story, 4 classroom school building mostly built with concrete, exposure D and V equals 340 kph, and with PWR with handrails, micropiles with security grills for front jalousie windows and steel casement window at rear portion, fire protection system and water pumping system with system, pole-mounted transformer and including grouted riprap as drainage. Here is the vicinity map and site development plan of the project. Here is the geotag photos during validation. Here is the perspective of the project. Here is the detailed architectural and engineering design plan of the project. The CNC, the special conditions of contract, the bill of quantities. All documents can be downloadable at PILJEP's website and or DPWH website. Here's the minimum work experience requirement for key personnel. For the project manager, must have handled infrastructure projects. Project engineer, DPWH accredited project engineer. For the materials engineer, must be an accredited materials engineer of the DPWH. General construction foreman must have handled similar projects. For the safety and health officer, must have undergone 40 hours basic construction safety and health training. For the minimum major equipment requirement, the dump truck, 1 unit, cargo or service truck, 1 unit, bulldozer, 1 unit, motorized road grader, 1 unit, backhoe, 1 unit, vibratory roller, 1 unit, water truck or pump, 1 unit, concrete pump, 1 unit, and truck-mounted crane, all model, 1 unit.
ng ating RA 009 or the new procurement. The criteria for award shall be the lowest calculated responsive bid. The amount for the advance payment is 15% of the total contract price to be made in lump sum. All progress payments shall first be charged against the advance payment until the later has been fully exhausted at the point of the option of the procuring entity. The contractor shall submit the program of work, the procuring entity within 10 calendar days of delivery from notice of award. Submission and receipt of bid, sinusunod po natin ang 2 envelope system where the first envelope contains the eligibility and technical documents and the second envelope contains the financial proposal. Our bid validity shall be 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of the bids. Yan po ang ating bid, original bid, financial, original financial, all enclosed po in a single envelope marked original bid. Each envelope shall contain the name and address of the bidder, name, recipient map, procuring entity, and the markings not open before the date, time, of the opening bids. Ganun din po sa ating copy 1. Each envelope should contain the name of the contract we bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient bank, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the specific date, time, of the opening bids. Lahat po yan, ang original bid and copy 1 shall be enclosed in a mother envelope. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contracting bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient bank, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date, time, of the opening bids. Unsealed and unmarked bid shall not be accepted. Of course, sa ating electronic submission naman po, not compressed and password protected shall not be accepted. Improperly sealed and marked shall be accepted. Improperly compressed and password protected shall be accepted. Submission and receipt of bids. Modification of bids. Ang modification po dapat po masubmit before the deadline of submission of bids. The bidder shall not be allowed to retrieve its original bid. However, they should submit new bid equally sealed, properly identified, linked its original bid, and marked as a modification. For letter withdrawals must be received prior to the deadline of submission of and receipt of bids. For bids withdrawn within the interval between the deadline and expiration of bid validity of the bid security shall be forfeited. Meron po tayong two modes of submission of bids, either manual submission of bids or electronic submission of bids. Sa ating manual submission of bids, yan po ay sa Box Secretariat Office, DPWH Sorsogon 2nd D o Barangay Payawin, Buhang, Sorsogon. For electronic bids, yan po ay sa electronic bids _Sorsogon 2 at dpwh.gov.ph. Eligibility criteria. To be eligible to participate in the bidding of the said contracts, the bidder must be a duly licensed Filipino citizen for sole proprietorships, partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stock belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, or persons, entities forming themselves to a joint venture as per section 52.4.2.1 of RA 12009. Foreign bidders may be eligible to participate in the procurement of infrastructure projects when provided for under any treaty or international or executive agreement as provided by Section 4 of the IRR of RA 12009. Bidders must have a valid PCAM license, must have a single largest completed contract that is similar to the contract we bid, at least 50% of the ABC. The single largest completed contract shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or similar performance and monitoring system. Contractors under small A and small B categories without similar experience, provided that the cost of the contract to bid is not more than the ARCC of registration. Bidders must have an NFCC at least equal to the ABC of the contract we bid. Eligibility and technical documents to be submitted by the bidders. Stated in the invitation to bid, contractors, applicants who wish to participate in the bidding to be in the procurement request list, DRL, profile JEP's website and secure a printout copy showing that they are included in the list and are encouraged to enroll in the DPWH civil work application at the procurement services, 5th floor, DPWH building, Bulusan, Port area, Manila. While those who are already enrolled should keep the records current and updated. We encourage po yung mga bidders natin na mag-enroll po sa ating CWA. Kung naman po naka-enroll, dapat po keep the records current and updated. The contractor's eligibility to bid on the project will be determined using the DPWH Contractor Project Profile Eligibility Process or CPEP and subject to further post-qualification. If registered in the DPWC with the PCAB license and registration in case of joint venture, ito po kailangan submit if registered po. Statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts. Statement of either single largest completed contract. Computation of the NFCC. Valid joint venture agreement if applicable. If not registered naman po sa ating DPWH civil work application, ito naman po ang kailangan submit. Field job certificate of registration, platinum membership in accordance with section 20 of the IRR, pickup license and registration in case of joint venture agreement, statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, computation of the NFCC, joint venture agreement if applicable. Mandatory requirements, documents comprising the bid technical components po. Yung nauna po is yun po sa eligibility. Ito naman po sa technical components ng kanilang bid. Number 1, bid security in a form of cash or manager's check, bank draft, bank guarantee, 2%. Surety bond, callable upon demand, 5% of the ABC, or you can submit po yung bid security declaration. Please be guided po ng RA 12009 para po sa standard format ng ating bid security declaration. Project requirements, organizational chart for the contract to bid. List of contractors' key personnel. List of contractors' major equipment units owned, lease, or under purchase agreement. Dapat po, kasama po dyan yung sa testing ng ating equipment. Latest General Information Sheet, GIS, reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, for corporations. ISO's 9001-2005 certification with its latest version as applicable as per Department Order 110 Series of 2024. Kung hindi naman po corporations, kahit hindi na po mag-submit ng GIS, kasi wala naman po sila. Number 3, Omnibus Form Statement duly notarized. Please be guided po ulit ng ating RA 12009 sa standard format po ng ating Omnibus Form Statement. Any omission po sa mga provisions ng Omnibus Form Statement shall be grounds for disqualification po. Tax clearance po. Submission of BIRC for renewal of tax clearance will not suffice in lieu of valid tax clearance requirements. Submission of provisional tax clearance issued by the BIR for bidding purposes is not applicable for tax clearance. Dapat po, meron po kayong tax clearance nila. Hindi po pwede yung mga temporary provisions ng tax clearance. Dapat po yung tax clearance nila. Saying that you are, wala po kayong liabilities. Okay? Statement of ongoing government and private contracts. The statement of the bidder roles in government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to bid. The statement shall include all information requirements in the bidding documents. Yan po ang sample ng bid security declaration, Omnibus Form Statement, as per RA 12009. For financial envelope naman po, ang laman naman po yan, bid form, summary bid prices in the bid of quantities, detailed estimate including a summary sheet indicating the unit price of materials, labor, and equipment, cash flow by quarter, month, and payment schedule, other documents required in the bidding documents. Please be guided po ulit ng ating bid form. May panibago po tayo ng format ng ating bid form as per RA 12009. Please be guided po ulit. Any omission ng mga provision po ng ating bid form shall be grounds for disqualification. Yan. For detailed evaluation of bid, the purpose po niya is to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing correct calculated prices of bids. Ranking calculated total of bid prices from lowest to highest. Ang method, a non-discretionary criterion shall be used which shall include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. The result shall be contained in the abstract of bids. In case of discrepancies po between bid price in figures versus bid price in words, bid price in words shall be weighed. Total price per item versus the unit price for the items times the quantity. The unit price for the item times the quantity shall prevail. Total stated price versus the actual sum of prices of component items. The actual sum of prices of component items shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities. The unit cost in the bill of quantities shall prevail. reminders po sa ating mga bidders of the no contract rule hanggang sa issuance po ng award. Okay. For the post-qualification, ang purpose po is to determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents, to be declared as the lowest calculated and responsive bid. A method, a non-discretionary pass-or fail criterion, shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents submitted by the lowest calculated bid. For post-qualification po, compliance with DO9, Series of 2012, key personal verification. If a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the time of the OPU bids, the bidder shall submit certification that 1. The personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract. 2. She will be replaced with another person with equally or better qualifications as certified by the head of the procuring entity. Equipment verification, also to be verified during post-qualification, is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should specify in the submitted bid the location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any piece of the equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. Common reasons for bidders' disqualification: late submission of bids without valid reason, submission of patently insufficient bids, submission of expired PhilJEP certificate of registration, failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm or curriculum detail. Failure to submit the required bid form. Namamalo po tayo kung minsan yung mga lumang forms po ang submit. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to non-inclusion or omission of mandatory provisions and statement and other requirements. Yan po sa ating mga bid forms. Kung minsan po may na-omit ang mga provision. Submission of bid form, bid securing declaration of the Buhang statement, joint venture agreement without the name, legal capacity of, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. Nomination of key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents. Failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. Failure to comply with the minimum requirements, number of key personnel and equipment, failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of pledged equipment, insufficient NFCC, insufficient SLCC. Thank you. Mr. Chair.
Any questions or clarifications?
May nag-message sa question.
Wala na po, since we have no matters to discuss, this